I call the shots, I never call it quits. Trust my intuition, bet it's right and bitch, it often is. Seen too many others come and go, they had the wrong intent. Do it out of love and never for it, then I watch it get bigger than expected. Don't second guess it, I let it set it. It's God's plan, we out here only accepting blessings. I'm stuck with it, this mindset is terminal. In and out different terminals, leveling up is personal. And I already made it, y'all can miss me. It's hard to believe I made something from nothing. No hindsight discussions, I've been writing, I love it.
Welcome to the 3 Gig Sports Podcast, where we are never wrong, just sometimes misinformed. This is Danny G sitting alongside my guys Rio and Jimmer tonight, and we're going to kick this bad boy off with an interview. We've got a stud wrestler. Rio, who do we got on tonight, man?
We have All-American wrestler Carson Kharchla. How you doing, Carson?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
We are doing pretty good tonight.
He literally just told you how to say his name, and you slaughtered it.
Oh, yeah, well, you know, it's like that sometimes. I'm out here getting hooked on phonics. So. Okay. Kind of just to kick this off, you know, you're a big-time wrestler. When did you start playing sports?
Well, I started wrestling when I was 5 or 6. And I've, just been doing it ever since then.
Did you stick just to wrestling, or were you playing football, basketball, baseball?
No, I only did one sport, only wrestling. Only wrestling my whole life.
So you did that year-round then?
Yep.
Okay,
yep.
So catching all kinds of tournaments and all that stuff throughout your younger years?
Yeah, not exactly.
Oh.
I didn't wrestle in tournaments until I was in middle school.
Wow.
So yeah, my dad had a unique way of training me when I was younger and bringing me up. He's a club coach, actually. He runs Team Iran Wrestling in Dublin, Ohio. But he's also from the former Soviet Union.
Oh wow.
So over there, they don't believe in competing to be the best. They believe in training and preparation.
So
so growing up, yeah, I basically was in a wrestling room training all day. Never competed. But learned all the skills and techniques and how to wrestle, basically.
So was there ever a bear involved?
No,
No.
There was no bear.
Okay,
no bear involved.
I just want to double check. Sounds a little up that alley.
Right.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
So where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Powell, Ohio, so just like 20 minutes outside of Columbus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Obviously a big-time wrestling state and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So growing up, you said you just did one sport. What did you do for fun then, otherwise, if you weren't wrestling?
Yeah, I mean, I just, hung out, just did normal kid stuff, watch TV, play video games, hang out with your buddies. So, I mean, I had a normal life. I wasn't some weirdo or anything, hopefully. But
Not locked in the basement wrestling bears and that. So that
No. Yeah, I was able to be free and move, so we were good.
Okay.
Right on. So you said you didn't wrestle your first tournament probably till around you were in middle school. How before you got into high school, and I'm sure you've got some accomplishments there, but how did middle school wrestling go, and how do you feel like you grew there?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me with middle school wrestling was just learning like the feel of a match and the pressure of competition. I mean, it's a lot different competing in a tournament than it is in practice. I'm in practice wrestling some of the best kids in the country every day, but, nerves and the atmosphere can, affect how you perform when you're in a tournament and competition. So I think that was just kind of the biggest thing for me in middle school, just learning to deal with the pressure and competition and just, allowing myself to wrestle as freely as I do in practice in that competition. So I think I really grew there, just being able to open up and show my moves in competition.
Yeah, those that middle school. So I do a little bit of coaching at the youth level, and yeah, those middle school parents and just it's so intense. The AAU segment of that, and people trying to win titles and this and that, and it's pretty intense. So I'm sure out in Ohio, it's even like that, maybe even more.
Yeah.
So Did you get any accolades at the middle school level, AAU titles, anything like that?
No, I think I didn't really compete as much in middle school, just a few tournaments here and there. I did go to Super 32. I won that my 8th grade year.
Okay. Wow.
And that was about it. I think I did like the schoolboy duels, and some freestyle stuff. The summer before my freshman year, I went to Fargo and got 4th.
Oh,
So,
wow. It's impressive.
Yeah. So that was about most of what I did.
So usually middle school kind of time frame would be when you really start to kind of look at other sports and maybe decide if there's other things you want to do. So you said that you didn't do that. Was that your choice, or did you have, maybe your parents wanted you to focus just on wrestling, or kind of how did that work out?
Yeah, I'd say more dad's choice a little bit. But I guess I never really questioned it. I never really kind of had the desire to do any other sports, I guess.
Okay.
I never really, all my friends played football, basketball, baseball, soccer growing up, but I don't know. I never really kind of wanted to do them. Like, I'd play them, backyard football or whatever. If we went to the park and, just started playing games, like, I'd play it. I would have fun, but I never really wanted to like compete in those sports. So yeah, wrestling was just kind of what it happened to be.
And then just
I don't
stuck
think
to it?
Yeah, kind of just stuck to it.
I like it.
Didn't really have too much of a choice, but yeah.
At least you're enjoying it, and obviously it's turned into something successful for you. So
Yeah, definitely.
you get up to the high school level. Where'd you go to high school?
So I went to Olentangy Liberty High School in Powell.
Okay, were they a powerhouse wrestling, or were they just kind of your local school?
They were my local school growing up. Funny story, they did become a powerhouse wrestling school.
Okay.
We had a bunch of good kids, and actually a few of my former teammates come in from, just like an hour or two away, and actually move to the school and transfer in. And a lot of people thought that I was kind of one of those transfers, but I was like, I guess I just got pretty lucky. I've lived here my whole life. I went middle school or elementary school, middle school, high school, all in the same school district. So, I just got lucky and got into a really good school district with a good wrestling program and a great high school coach too, Mark Marinelli, NCAA All-American for Ohio State. He was my high school coach. So, yeah, really fortunate with that too.
Awesome. Very cool. And, looking at some of your accolades there in high school, how did it go your first couple of years in high school? Was there any transition, learning, obviously you're in Ohio, you're running into studs, but were you pretty comfortable by the time your freshman, sophomore year?
Yeah, I'd say I was pretty comfortable with wrestling and everything, but I did struggle a little bit to compete those first couple of years. My first year in high school, I actually tore the labrum in my right hip. So that took me out of season, the end of season, so I didn't compete. And then my sophomore year of high school, I really struggled with, just managing your weight and stuff. I'm a young kid. I was just trying to, cut too much weight and, probably go a weight class that wasn't going to be best for me, and it ended up biting me in the butt. So then I didn't end up competing in a state tournament or anything that year. And then, I think those were just kind of the big growing experiences that I had, because I kind of really had to, figure out what to do in those moments when you've been in high school for 2 years and haven't wrestled in the postseason. It's kind of like, well, what are you going to do now? You got 2 more years left. Are you either going to, go out and be the stud, or are you going to stop and just be a normal kid? So
right.
So yeah, those were big growing moments for me, and just big kind of just realizations of my wrestling and my career and what I want out of it, and just what am I willing to do, or how am I gonna pursue this smarter and ask the people around me for help and not be stupid. So
yeah. So then talking about that mind frame, did you change? What did you change ultimately to turn that whole thing around your next 2 years in high school?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I did was I just, I kind of looked to my parents, my coaches, and my teammates for help. I think my whole life growing up, I've been like, the kid that, you tell me what to do, I'll do it. Even if it, breaks my bones, I won't complain about it. I'll just do it, and I'll do it for you. And I think I really kind of let that affect me to the point where I was just, someone told me, this is what you're doing, and that's what I did. And I didn't think about it or didn't talk to people about it and ask if it was the right decision. So I think that was big, just me being able to look at these people or my parents and be like, hey, like, what do you guys think is best for me? And they would give me an answer, but it wasn't like, this is what you're supposed to do. It was more like, here's what you can do. It's your choice whether you want to do it or not. So that was just really great, just for me maturing as a young kid and growing up. And I think too, just, my coaches were like, you're so good. If you quit worrying about everything that you can't control and just worry about wrestling, you'll be good. And so, yeah, that was hard to kind of let go of some things you can't control, but you learn and you get older and you realize that it was a waste of time back then. And, it's a lot simpler when you can just wrestle.
Man, I'm really glad you said that. We have a kid I helped coach up at the high school level, and he's a freshman this year, and seemed like he was really worried about other things that he had no control over. And, he had a real successful AAU career and whatnot, and a little bit of disappointment in the postseason. In the first round, got beat by a kid who he had beat before, but all season just worrying about things he couldn't control. And so that's nice to hear you say something like that, and hopefully he's going to listen to this and hear you talk about that, and that'll help him.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and ask you a couple questions here. Number one, I see that you were, what is that? Well, first off, I was looking at an awesome picture of you at Liberty and the Patriot symbol. It says, I hate the picture that this picture exists.
Oh, yeah. That was, that picture. Wow. I really don't have words about it. But yeah.
Hey, it looked aggressive to me, man. And I didn't realize you guys were rocking like the NFL Patriot symbol. Actually, that's kind of cool too.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
But my other one is so I also seen that you were a Scholar All-American.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that you're looking towards doing if wrestling doesn't take you on to any version of a next level professionally?
Yeah, I think I definitely want to, remain in sports as much as I can. I think all athletes do. It's something, you grow up with and love doing. I've struggled with a lot of injuries, in high school and even in college now still. So I really like the medical aspect of it and just, how can I make a young athlete stronger and faster coming back from an injury than when they were before? How can I make them heal better? How can I make them, more confident landing on the foot that they broke? I think that's really cool. And I think that has been, a really big part of my life. And if I could do that and give back like that, I think that'd be great.
Awesome. And then my other one is I see that either that or you just like that particular clip, but are you a Marvel fan?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, same here. So my question, I have a couple questions. We're going to go down a rabbit hole here. First one, I need to know which one is your favorite Marvel movie.
Favorite Marvel movie?
Yeah.
I think Thor Ragnarok is my favorite.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Let's see. And because that's exactly what you put on here was Thor's upcoming movie, Love and Thunder.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that one.
Yeah. It does look good. I read up about it a little while back, kind of, because I'm like a can't wait type of guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I gotta kind of see what's possibly coming my way there.
Right. Right.
That being said, oh, my mind just went blank. I just lost my train of thought there. Yeah.
Well, let's touch on the last couple years of high school. So you make your turnaround transition, and so what happens your junior and senior year?
Yeah. So my junior year, or I guess summer going into my junior year, went to Fargo, and I wrestled. Well, I wrestled 160 at that tournament, and that was pretty big jump because I was trying to wrestle 138 or 145 that year in high school. Yeah, so that was a big jump for me. But it was, where my body just went naturally. I wasn't cutting weight, wasn't doing anything stupid, was just wrestling, having fun. And so that tournament was really big just for my confidence. I think I wrestled, let's see. Well, first match I wrestled, I lost. I lost first match and then ended up winning, I think, 10 straight to wrestle for third and fourth.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so that one
That's awesome.
So that one was a big confidence builder for me. And then, as you wrestle through the backside, once you beat the first couple rounds, every kid there is top ranked kid in the nation,
Right.
multiple time state champion, returning Fargo All-Americans, returning Fargo champs. So that was big for me and building my confidence after that tournament. And then high school, yeah, I think my coach told me I wasn't allowed to wrestle any lower weight class than 170. And I kind of thought he was stupid, but, a month into season, I was like, hey, it's pretty smart. This is pretty nice.
Right.
So wrestled 170 for season and did really good, felt really good. I wrestled the best I've ever wrestled. And then went on to win a state championship that year. And then the summer before my senior year, went to Fargo again, wrestled 170, and that weight class was loaded. I think I had Travis Whitlake, Dustin Plott, Parker Metcalf, maybe the guy that goes to UNI, 184-pounder now.
Okay, yeah.
Carter Starocki, and like 2 or 3 other All-Americans were in that weight class. So I went to Fargo, won that bracket that year. And I think that's really when I got some, that supreme confidence where you just think you're unbeatable almost, have a chip on your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was really good to feel and be in there. And then senior year, wrestled Who's Number One. I think I won Ironman. Wrestled again for state tournament, won that, and then I went to Ohio State.
So touch on that. How did the recruiting process go? Did you, who was looking at you ultimately as you started getting recruited, and when did you start getting recruited?
Yeah, so I started really getting recruited, I'd say, after my junior year, and all the tournaments that I did. I was recruited a little bit coming into it, just from that Fargo tournament that I told you about and wrestling those good guys. But then once I really started competing my junior year, a lot of coaches started looking at me and getting my name down. I think the 5 visits I took were to UVA, Minnesota, Oklahoma State, NC State, and Ohio State. So those are my 5 visits. I'd say they were on me probably the heaviest and the first, and just kept a really good relationship with me and, just really, recruited me and weren't kind of like, oh, you're good one week, well, we'll recruit you now. And then, oh, you're not good this week, we won't recruit you. So those are my 5 schools. And
okay.
So growing up in Ohio, I assume Ohio State was always really the top of your list, right?
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
I never wanted to come to Ohio State.
Really?
Never wanted to be here. Never pictured myself wrestling here. It was just too close, I felt.
I know exactly what that feels
the black
like.
and gold,
Yeah.
huh? Must have wanted to be in the black and gold at Iowa singlet. Did Iowa recruit you at all?
No, they did not, but they had Marinelli there, and they already recruited some other kid. So they had
Patrick
65.
Kennedy.
Yeah, I think. Actually, it was Patrick Kennedy.
Gotcha.
So they had 65 filled out, but I don't really care. Just because you didn't recruit me doesn't mean anything, And
Yeah,
Sure.
I don't give them the cold shoulder or anything,
Sure,
It's whatever.
Sure. No, we're here in Iowa, so some Iowa Hawkeyes fans. So just kind of wondering. There's been some guy we talked to Ryan Deacon too, and just kind of talking to guys about was Iowa ever in the realm of possibilities, but.
So I'm curious before you go here, Rio. So you said you pictured yourself there, and I get the whole it was way too close to home. I totally get that. Why ultimately did you pick Ohio State then?
Because they were able to make me flip from saying I hate this place to I love this place.
Oh.
Okay.
So I think that really kind of sold me and kind of blew me away. Honestly, I just the coaches I think told me to come out just a random Friday, just for an unofficial before my senior year, and it was just a normal Friday in Columbus, Ohio in March. It was cold and rainy and, bad weather. And I think we just toured campus and talked to the coaches, hung out with the team a little bit. And honestly, I was I had a really good time, a really good visit. And I, didn't expect that at all. Talked to my parents about it a little bit, and they're like, well, that's good. Glad that, this place that you didn't even consider, you now kind of have a liking for. They're like, just keep an open mind and, talk to them more and keep talking to the guys. And when you take your official visit, then you'll really, get to hang out more and see what it's like being on campus. And then I think I took my official visit and it was great. I enjoyed it here. I loved it here. Loved the campus and the university. I loved the teammates. I loved the guys. The coaches were great. And so it really changed the way I looked at Ohio State. I never looked at it from the perspective of I may actually want to go here. I just thought that if you're able to take my mind from a complete negative and turn it to a positive, then it's probably a reason for that. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Who was before that? Before they were able to flip your mind, who was leading the charge for you then?
NC State, I'd say. NC State. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that's where you wanted to go as well?
Yeah, I think if you would have asked me, my junior year, I think I would have said probably NC State. I've had really good family friends that have been, sent their sons to NC State, so I've known the program and the coaches for a long time.
Okay.
Before I was even in high school, I knew them, and they had talked to me and just treated me like a normal person. So I had a good relationship with those coaches, and I still think the world of those coaches in that program, but it just ended up being Ohio State.
Awesome.
Yeah, so you go to Ohio State, you have a nice redshirt season, 16-0, 4 tournament titles. What was different about college? I mean, obviously you had great success, but what was ultimately different? Was there an aspect that you had to get better in? Anything surprise you? The transition from high school wrestling up to college wrestling?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing for me was just that guys are going to fight you. I think in high school it's something that doesn't really get noticed as much, but in high school it's pretty easy to break a kid that doesn't want to be fighting or doesn't want to be wrestling. Some of these kids are just doing it for high school and, they don't want to compete at the next level. So that really the only guys that are going to fight you hard in high school are the kids that want to compete in college. When you get to college, everyone's fighting with you, no matter if they're starters or non-starters, D1 or D2, D3, NAIA, they all fight. And so that's what I think the biggest thing for me was, you can't really relax and think, just because you're up by 8 points, the kid's going to lay down. The kid's still going to fight you. He's still going to come at you. So I think that was one of the biggest things for me, was just being able to see that and understand that, and then keep myself to a level where, I was 8 points up and I was like, okay, hey, keep scoring. Don't relax. Like, don't let him think he has a chance to come back into this match. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything did you have to really work on, improving any aspect of your wrestling game once you come to college, or were you pretty well rounded and seemed to be fit there?
mean, pretty much just the normal stuff that everyone has to work on, top, bottom, and riding time, and just making sure that you get an escape and it's crisp and clean, because, if someone can hold you down, they're going to hold you down. So, I mean, just some things like that. And then I think hand fighting, but nothing too crazy, just learning how to deal with bigger and stronger kids. You come to college, everyone's basically a man and fully developed, so everyone's pretty strong and big. And if you don't, put the technique behind your strength, you can fall behind a little bit. So just kind of some basic stuff, but some basic stuff at a higher level.
So you go ahead, Jimmer. You go.
I was gonna ask you. So you, besides your own home arena, I guess, where's the best situation or the best arena that you have wrestled in college? Whether it was cool, whether it was nostalgia, whether it was just like, damn, this is one passionate fan base, any of that.
Yeah. I think my teammates may kill me for saying this, my coaches may kill me too, but when we wrestled in Penn State and Bryce Jordan, that was a pretty sweet atmosphere. I felt everyone was into it. I mean, the fans there, they were on you the whole time.
That must be 100% legit place to just go and rock at, because that's the second time we've heard Penn State.
Yeah.
When it came to the environment, I'm not talking about any other part, just the environment.
Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't been to Carver yet, so I don't know. I haven't been to Carver yet because Iowa was home when we dueled them. So if Carver changes me, we'll see. But yeah, I'd say Cavelli number one, and then also too, we only dueled Penn State in the big arena. We haven't dueled them in the small arena yet. So
okay.
Well, at least my experience. But
right.
Even in the big arena, it was cool. Like, the atmosphere just made you want to wrestle. I felt like,
So what's next? As in, what is your goals for the upcoming year?
For the upcoming year, yeah, I think just for me, it's just to, develop my wrestling more and more, and just, someone can look at me and say, wow, he made some improvements. He did something different. He's not the same. He's the same wrestler from last year, but he's, better. I think that would be something for me. And then I think too, I just want, obviously want to win an NCAA title. But, everyone can say that. You have to do it. And I think the other thing I just really want is I want the team to just have a good year and to have a good, experience with each other. Some of the guys that we have are, seniors, or maybe, 6-year seniors or returning seniors, or even me, who, just wants to be together with a good group of guys. I think that's probably a goal for me, just to enjoy the experience. It's a grind and it's tough, but it can be a whole lot of fun if you let it be fun. So I think that's what I'm going to try and do.
Awesome.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, I've Ohio State's always up there. They're talking about team races and such, and unfortunately, just some stuff happens that ultimately slide down. And Penn State's been just crazy good lately, and running away with it. And so it almost seems like between Ohio State and Oklahoma State, bounce back years between who's up there, running for that second and third spot for a while. So yeah, hopefully have a good team tournament this coming year.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at a meme that was made here. I'm enjoying every second of this because I've been looking at some of your stuff and your highlights and all that and your face, and I'm like, damn, this dude's face, God, what the hell is it? Yeah, Biff, dude. From Back to the Future, that is awesome. That is one of my favorite series to go watch. Especially on a rainy weekend or something like that. And God damn it, you have a side by side here, and it is it.
Yeah,
Don't tell me that, hey, dude. Oh, that's awesome, bro.
That is pretty.
I just had to bring it. I got a chuckle. I'm like, yeah, there it is.
Hey, that's good. That's good. As long as it makes people laugh, I'm cool with it.
No, absolutely. And Biff was awesome. So
yeah.
He's also the voice of Mr. Krabs, by the way. I don't know if you knew that, but
I did not know that. Is he really?
Yeah, he is. He is the voice of Mr. Krabs. Yeah, I didn't know it, and I didn't believe it until I looked it up. I'm like, no way, come on. Yeah, I go look it up. It's Mr. Krabs. I'm like, are you kidding me? All right.
No way. That's sweet.
So you come into this year, you have a really good season. All American honors, placing 7th. Okay, what do you think about this past season and how you did?
Yeah, I thought this past season I thought I did really well. I mean, I think my postseason, I'm not disappointed with the results, but I guess you always want more. But it's, tough to ask for more when you feel like you've done all you can. But yeah, I thought season was good. I thought I really grew, and I thought my confidence really grew just throughout the season and wrestling, tough guys or tough matches and being put in situations that I, haven't really been put in before. So really proud of myself and just how I handled that and just, how I handled a full season. So yeah.
So every time we have had a wrestler on, I always tend to ask the question. I don't know if I've had a yes yet.
Okay.
But you said after your wrestling career is done at the collegiate level,
right.
Is MMA on the map for you at all?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I don't really think so. No.
Okay.
Yeah, probably not. I love watching it, and I respect the hell of the guys that do it, but I just don't think it's for me.
Yeah, that's usually the answer we get. We had one that said, "I don't want brain damage.
Right.
I'm not trying to get punched in the head."
Yeah.
So I was
think
just curious, if that's on. So far, it's not
been
really.
no for
it's
everybody.
been no for. So it's not really on the wrestlers' mind.
I just think it's tough because I think a lot of guys just kind of look at it and it's like, they're doing the exact same thing I'm doing right now. They're working out every day, cutting weight, going into an arena. And it's like, now I got to get punched and kicked and,
Right.
really hurt myself, really tear up my body, and maybe I'll make some money,
Yeah, maybe. I was going to say,
Yeah.
Carson's like, I was kind of half thinking about it, and then I seen Ferguson take a foot right to the chin.
Yeah.
I'm like, hold on. I'm not trying to defend that type of shit right there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You watch MMA. Who's your favorite fighter?
I really liked Khabib when he was fighting, but he retired now. So I guess my favorite now might be. I like Kamara. I like Usman. He's good. Who else is in there? Is Cejudo still fighting, or he retired?
He did officially retire, but he entered back into USADA because he says he wants to come fight again.
I saw that. He's not too bad. Who else? I like Dustin Poirier. He's not a bad fighter either.
Yeah.
No.
He's not too bad. For Ferguson, he's pretty good. Who's the Max Holloway? He's just fun to watch.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We're all Max fans here.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's got. In fact, that's coming up here in a couple months or something. He faces number 3, Volkanovski, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Volkanovski's a nasty bad man too. So.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this brings us to my segment. It's called Rio's Randoms. It's 3 random questions. We're all going to answer them. It's lighthearted, just kind of fun. It's kind of a would you rather deal. Nothing too serious.
Hopefully it doesn't feel like kind of walk of shame-ish like the next day type of feel. But we're not trying to get that feel. But sometimes like yeah.
No, you're good. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
For it.
All right. Here we go. You know what time it is? It is time for Rio's Randoms. Brought to you by Bo's Power Washing out of Belmont, Iowa. Make sure you hit up our guy Kevin Beauchart for all your cleaning, power washing needs. He also mows weed eats, cleans gutters. Yeah, he'll hook you up. Hit him up at 641-903-1720. Tonight, first up, would you rather have more time in your life or more money?
More time. I can make more money then.
Yeah, more time.
What are you, Danny?
Yep.
Get greedy right here, Rio. Get greedy right here.
I know. I am like, man, what I could do with like a couple of milli right now, An instant gratification, right? If you get more time, you have to, obviously the work, and it's going to take more time to get that money. So I might go money.
Go money. It's gonna be a really good short stretch, but we're gonna rock it out.
Right,
Kids
I'm about to
taken
ball
care of.
out for the next 5 years.
Hell, you can turn it non-greedy too. You can just be like, hey, I want that money, and then that sets up my kids for after that. After I do a selfish weekend in Vegas.
Right. Exactly. Next up. One place you could be locked in or stuck at for a week and be okay, and it cannot be your house.
Oh, jeez.
Damn.
We'll let you go first there, Carson. You got something?
Oh shoot. So what is this like in just one place that I'm locked in? I can't leave this place?
Yeah, you can't leave the place, but you can just hang out there for a week. You're just stuck there. You can't leave. It can't be your friend's house. Can't be your own house. Any kind of place, though.
Okay. I think one year when I was younger and before I started getting a lot into wrestling, we took vacations. And my family went to some beach house, and I had a great time there. So probably a beach house. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with an NBA arena. That's basketball court I can mess around on, but if you've ever walked through the hallways of these newer age ones, there's everything everywhere. There's video games, there's food, there's all kinds of stuff. I'm good for a week, rocking it there. So I'm sure with all these higher execs, they have one of those back panic rooms with a bed or something anyway. Or something,
for sure.
So it should be good.
Yeah, not bad. I'm gonna go with something like the rec center. So we got the basketball courts, we got the full gym and everything like that. Hopefully, something more like a YMCA though, because then there's a sauna and everything too. You can do whatever the hell you want. Yeah,
for sure. Okay, I'm gonna go with give me a Disney World or a Busch Gardens. You know what that is? It's kind of the same thing. Amusement park of some sort, Six Flags over Texas, something like that. Because I can have my fill of beer and
being a child.
Right?
Gotcha.
I can ride all the rides. I can eat carnival food.
I can't do nothing about it. I'm not having fun. I swear to God. This isn't fun.
Dude, I'd gain 25 pounds after eating cotton candy for a week. And my last one for tonight. Your life depends on it. You got to take this guy down. Brock Lesnar or Derrick Henry?
Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Brock's an NCAA champ, man. Come on. Derrick Henry just said his balls were hot. I mean, come on.
That is actually Derek Lewis.
Right.
That one's Derek Lewis. I'm talking Derek Henry, the football player.
The running back.
Yeah, the running back for Tennessee Titans.
I'd still.
Oh, yeah, no, him too. Yeah, him too. I take him.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say,
Yeah.
gosh, man.
So you didn't say there'd be any running or anything. You just said your life depends on you got to take him down.
Take him down.
Yep.
He's really fast though.
I know he could just like run away.
Yeah. Like he's.
But Brock is gonna like snap you in half as soon as you shoot a double leg or something.
Yeah.
Damn. All right. All right, then. Fuck it, I'm going Brock.
Taking my chances.
I'm taking my chances here. I am not a fast man, so I'm a very big realist in this. I'm not going to be able to catch.
That's true. We're gonna do 40 times.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not going to be able to catch old boy. So I got to roll the dice with like, I don't know, throwing my big old body right at Brock Lesnar's knees and like maybe they snap and he drops. Cause you just say I got to take him down.
Yeah.
It's gonna be something stupid. I'm gonna like shoot myself out of a cannon like. I don't know. He'll probably catch me in midair. He also did WWE too, and then like break my neck when he like flings me across which would be like chump change to him. But I got to roll with the chance of that.
How many bones is he breaking of yours?
Every last one of them. Every
Full body cast
last one of them. Yeah, body cast. Have you seen Grown Ups? The YMCA.
Yeah,
It's gonna look like that.
Okay.
Yep.
So Carson, you still rocking with Derrick Henry then?
Yeah, I'll still go with him. I think you learn you don't mess with wrestlers. So it's just something, you know.
Danny
Yeah,
G,
it's
what
got
do
to be
you got?
Derrick Henry. It's got to be. I could see the argument for Brock might be he's getting a little bit older, so maybe you could use that. Derrick Henry's still pretty young. But it's got to be him. There's no chance you're going to be able to take that big athletic son of a bitch down.
Do I physically have to take him down? Or as long as he goes down?
Yeah,
That's
he
all
just
matters.
got to go down.
He just
man.
got to go down?
Yeah.
Put a couple needles on the ground of some steroids. Just get down there. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. And then I'll kick him in the ass and he'll fall over,
I
right?
don't know. So then my question is, can I take steroids before this?
Oh, and train for it.
And train for it?
Can I train if I know it's coming?
You're still going to get wrecked by Brock.
Dude, I'm getting
Brock
wrecked
is
by both
Brock.
of them. That's true.
I'm making light of it, but the dude almost made the team for the Vikings as a defense tackle. In fact, there's clips. You can go look right now. He was so savage in training camp.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was almost too mean that's the reason why he didn't make the team. He obviously fought UFC, right?
Yeah.
And then
NCAA
NCAA champion. I don't know if he did Olympics or not, but then WWE on top of all that, dude, no.
Yeah.
He's a bad dude, yeah.
You know what, though? I'm taking Brock because I got half a Lego here, so I'm not catching Derrick Henry for sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you're going to go at Brock like a spider monkey?
Like a spider monkey. I'm going to, it's going to get wild, and he'll probably kill me.
He'll probably kill me, but your best shot, you're thinking is...
Best shot.
Yeah.
And that, folks, is what I have tonight for Rio's Random. Make sure to hit up our guy, Kevin Beauchart. He'll get you hooked up for all your cleaning, power washing, mowing needs.
All right, so I remembered my question from earlier where I got all tongue-tied. So we were talking Marvel.
Okay.
Have you been knocking out some of the series that were made like after that as part of this MCU, whatever, like 5 or whatever it's on?
Yeah, a few of them, but not all of them.
So
My younger brother though has knocked them all out, but not me.
So what about Loki? Have you seen that one?
That's the one I haven't seen.
That's the one you haven't seen?
I know.
Oh man. You gotta. I know. Understand. You're an extremely busy man. Now I haven't knocked out all of them, so I'm obviously gonna be a little biased in the ones I have seen. I think I've seen like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
But that one right there is worth every bit of it right there.
Yeah. No, that's what my little brother was telling me. He's like, it's the best show I've ever watched.
Yeah, it is. It's hilarious. It has his normal twist in there. Then you get a little sympathetic for him, which is pretty rare. I mean, it's damn good. But
yeah.
all right, who's your so you said the movie or the favorite movie was Thor Ragnarok.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your
Yeah.
is that your favorite Avenger?
He's probably one of them. I'd say either him, Spider-Man. I grew up with Spider-Man, so Spider-Man's always a top pick for me. And then I think Spider-Man, and then it's probably, Captain America, Iron Man, and Black Panther. So
kind of all lumped in. Okay.
that's about it.
Yeah.
And then have you watched, I assume you've watched the newer version Spider-Mans. Did you watch any of the other Spider-Mans?
Oh, yeah. I grew up with all those.
Okay.
Come on.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was just making sure before I go and ask.
Yeah.
So which Spidey's the best? It's what? Tom Holland,
Tom Holland,
Garfield,
Toby Maguire, Andrew Garfield. I really liked Andrew Garfield, but
okay.
I think I just liked him because he was, he was the cool Spider-Man,
All right.
I think the movies, the action scenes were a little better,
Yeah.
It didn't look like some dudes just slugging at each other. It actually looked like he knew how to fight, so that was kind of cool too. And then I think those movies too came out like right when I was like middle school, high school, so they're kind of nostalgia for me too.
Right, exactly the ones that you go back to. Yep. So mine when it first came out was Tobey Maguire, but then but like I don't know if it's hard to unseat the first two for sure, like just because like how awesome they were when they first came out.
Yeah,
but that third one, especially that scene where he's walking down the street with that black shirt on, you know what I'm talking about. So uncomfortable. It's one of the top 10 most uncomfortable scenes maybe in movie history, right there.
Oh, it's so funny.
That
scene is like you're sitting there cringing, but you're like, God, this is funny the whole time you're watching it.
Oh yeah. But to me, mine's been Tom Holland. I think he's just knocked us out of the park.
Really?
That I do. I enjoy the way he does it.
Did you like the third one? What was that? Far From Home or No Way Home?
I did. Are you talking about? Hold on. Are you talking about the one where it was after posts Tony Stark?
The one with him and Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah, no, I did watch that. That was pretty damn good. So I heard somebody at work tell me that they thought it was possibly better than the last two Avengers movies. I'm like, no, it's not.
Wow.
So I liked it. I thought there were some weird moments, but I did like it. It's nowhere near the Infinity War or any of that shit.
I expected more out of it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I thought they could have done more.
You know what?
I don't know.
I'm kind of with you a little bit because when I was watching this, I thought everything was cool about it. Don't get me wrong, but
it was.
I'm with you with like they softened up the old school the old criminals and all that. I'm like I was waiting for a big old nasty slugfest of like brains getting together and it didn't happen.
Exactly.
They got like soft.
No.
Yeah, and I mean spoilers, I guess, whatever. But I'm like, come on, you're bringing 3 Spider-Mans. I'm like, you could have just casted some random dudes and put them in spider suits, and we would have been happy.
Right.
You could have, or four other villains or something, and like give me a big battle, and make Doctor Strange do something more. Like, I don't know.
What was he in it for? Like 2 seconds twice or something like that?
Yeah, for like 5 minutes, and then he kept dipping out of the movie, and I'm like, I get it, it's Spider-Man's movie, but I'm like, he's the one with the powers of a god, like. Do something with him,
No, I'm with you. Actually, you're starting to turn me a little bit on this one because the more I think about it, they saw and they actually made your favorite Spider-Man kind of look like a bitch in that.
Yeah, no, they did low key. I was disappointed in that. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, they made him look at like he was needing counseling and shit. talk through his feelings the whole time and shit. You actually started turning me on it. The more because the more I watch it, I mean, it was maybe I was more hyped, and I was liking the thought of it. Yeah.
Well, the problem too is it's like now with social media, it's like you can't have a genuine expectation or reaction.
Right? Because you get
a week before it hit theaters, all the influencers are like, "Oh, it's the best movie I've ever seen. It's this and that," and I'm like, "Dude, this doesn't come out for another week. Like, what are you talking about? How have you seen this movie already?"
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
No, you actually, I think you started turning me on the other way. I mean, it had its parts, and maybe I was going more nostalgia than anything. The thought of having all 3 of the faces, the old school faces on there and shit. So yeah.
It was a great movie. Like, it was a great
Yeah.
movie. I will say that. But I guess I just thought there
You
was
expected
more. To it
more.
from, yeah.
Yeah, they could. I do remember thinking that when I was watching it, though. I'm like, dude, I was expecting a little bit more. Like, I wanted to see something nasty where they're like fighting all their old villains, their new villains all together, and they're masterminding it. And I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen the new Doctor Strange?
I have not
I
yet.
have not seen that either.
And it looks sick. Like the previews.
That one's pretty good.
You have seen it?
Solid. I saw that on Mother's Day with my family. Actually, that was our Mother's Day gift.
Oh, was it?
Marvel movie.
Yeah,
Love it.
So your mom's a Marvel fan too?
Oh yeah, my mom loves them too.
Oh yeah, that's our
yeah.
household. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Worth the hype?
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was pretty good. Okay. It's okay. Here's the thing that threw me off though: is it's low key like a horror movie.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah,
Huh.
but
Okay.
it's like good in that sense too.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I'm still down. I'm gonna go see it. I don't know if it's supposed to tie. I don't know if it's supposed to tie into it or not. That's the reason why I was asking if you had watched Loki yet, because there's some shit at the end of that will twist up the whole MCU, and I think it's like the start of some of all that too.
Yeah. Well, this new Doctor Strange is like all about the multiverse and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. So when I watch Loki, it'll probably all make sense, but
Yeah.
we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Well, before we let you go, I do want to ask you, getting to wrestle at the next level in college is always a privilege, and going on to the next level out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
So who would you like to thank on your journey to be able to get you to Ohio State and all your success and becoming an All-American? Is there anybody you'd like to thank and just put it out there?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's got to be my family. You know, they're by me every day, going through it with me every day. So it has to be them. You know, mom, dad, brothers, and sisters. Wouldn't be possible without them, and them sacrificing some of their life so that I can have the one that I want. And then I think just all my coaches and friends and training partners growing up, and just people who believed in me and pushed me to be the person and the wrestler I am today. Someone told me once, the best gift you can give someone is your belief in them. And that really kind of spoke volumes to me once I got older and kind of realized what that meant. So yeah.
That's awesome, Carson. Before we do, we're about to let you go. I do appreciate you coming on today and sharing your time. Obviously, me and you are huge MCU fans, so down for that. I do want to say that we would love for you to come on again, maybe even during, if you have time, sometime during your season too.
Yeah, for sure. I'd be interested in that.
Kind of shoot the shit a little bit again, and talk about your current season at that point too.
Yeah, for sure.
Hell yeah.
Let's do it. Yeah, we definitely want to thank you, man. The story is pretty cool. I love the whole kind of wisdom that you gained after cutting too much weight in that whole process between then and high school. So that's awesome. That's when you really learn the most about yourself. So definitely good luck this year.
Yeah. Thank you.
I feel a natty championship coming. So
hopefully, we're all hoping. So
we
fingers
would
crossed for you, brother.
We are, and we do wish you the best health too this year.
Yeah,
Thank
for
you.
sure, for
Thank
sure.
you very much.
So thanks for your time, and good luck this year, and we'll catch you later.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yep, bye.
See ya.
Boom, boom.
Love it.
So we'll roll into the news. That's one hell of a impressive interview right there.
Yes.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of everyone that's came on so far. So
Yeah.
let's get you on for every one of them on for a second one, and then you start becoming what we like to call a 3-gigster
Right.
and a fan of the show.
The big thing is getting them to loosen up. Sometimes when they're for the first 5-10 minutes, everybody's a little tight, right? Keep everything. And then when we can get everybody loosened up, then it flows really nicely.
If we could just all take shots at the same time.
All of us.
Shots.
Including the guy on the other end, except for high schoolers.
Shots. But yeah, we'll roll in the news. Spurs owner Peter J. Holt insists team will stay in San Antonio, even though they plan to play a few games in Austin.
That's good. I think we all grew up watching old Spurs, their little dynasty they had, and I think it's good for. It's a small market. And it's so they drafted all them guys, right?
Yeah.
When they went through their whole deal, it is hard to pull talent and stars,
especially nowadays, right?
Yeah. The only good thing they have going for them is the no tax, right?
Yep.
And that's it. So I get why there would be maybe a want to move, but I'm glad that they're going to stay.
But it's very passionate fan base.
It is.
Like to take you've never heard of any type of attendance issues, that's for sure, when it comes to the Spurs. And I don't like seeing teams move especially when they have a passionate fan base that supports them.
Right, yeah.
Yep.
Because I don't know if you guys remember that the whatever the hell that was. The AA, yeah. Well, yeah. But it was
talk about
the
that.
AAF.
Everybody loved the Rams, but
right. But I was talking about even the AAF, and they had the St. Louis Battlehawks. Mm-hmm. They were tailgating game 1.
Yeah,
they support whatever team they bring in.
Yeah, let's get a team in Mason City, AFL or whatever. Let's go
Des Moines. But yes, I agree.
Let's go Mason City.
I would love it for our own backyard.
I was gonna say, that way
for
we just,
our own backyard.
right.
But I think I've always thought that. I've always thought that Iowa could support a team because we would back any one of ours because we don't have it. Like I don't know why some of these places. I know why. Ultimately, it's all about money. But if you want passionate fan base and stuff like that, I always wonder why. The inaugural seasons of the XFL and the USFL, yeah, fine. But, as soon as you start thinking expansion, I don't know why you're not thinking Iowa right out of the gate. You have a very passionate
I've actually thought about this, but on the professional level. Now, I don't get it for why these smaller teams, professional level, Iowa's got one of the smallest populations. So maybe they're worried about, I won't get,
It only had, what do we have? 4 or 5 million people or something like that.
Right.
But so, down around that Des Moines area,
you'd get enough for
you'd have that metro.
Right. I think a professional team would be okay, but I guess that was my thinking as a population. And now you could absolutely get one of those teams, USFL or whatever the heck. I think and support them just fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Lakers owner Jeannie Buss getting advice from Phil Jackson, Magic Johnson, LeBron James about hard decisions. She says that when you pay the 4th highest in salary and in luxury tax, we expect more.
I do agree with that, but why LeBron? He's a player.
Yeah. You already took I'm on record obviously being a LeBron fan. A little harder the last.
That is 100% true.
Yeah, last 3 years or so, 4 years have been a little tougher because it's hard to defend a man that doesn't play defense and there's plenty of other shit there.
Right.
But that being said, he's already had too much of an influence. I mean, he was the reason why Russell Westbrook was there.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
so bringing him into the conversation made no sense to me.
Right. Maybe teams would do better if they would stop letting LeBron try to run the team.
Well, none of them. Well, actually, none of them. The more we talk about it, because we already talked about, she always goes back to the old.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go back to Magic. Let's see what he thinks. Let's go back to Philly.
That's my biggest problem is going back to the same pool of people.
Right.
That haven't done shit for you in the last,
Right.
20 plus years.
Great players. Some of them are, good broadcasters, commentary guys, but get people who will actually make good decisions in there. Not
unbiased
guys. Right, exactly.
Stop bringing in someone else's boys and shit like that because a lot of people forget that Rob Pelinka was kind of one of LeBron's guys too.
I get everybody wants to win, and we talked about this before, and I brought it up. Somebody was saying something about playing in LA. And it was about the Dodgers, but you're gonna fill the stands, you're gonna fill the seats. Money's not gonna be a problem, no matter if you're winning or losing.
Yeah, they didn't lose money. I don't care if they're the 4th highest tax
You're gonna
team
sell
or not.
out, right? You're gonna put fans in the seat, no matter if they're winning or they're losing. So get the basketball players out of there and get people in there who can actually make good decisions, not only to win now, but also set yourself up down the road.
Yeah. Well, their best bet is actually to move on from one of those two. But ultimately, I don't know if you do. Depends on if you want to go more towards the future and the hopes, and then you trade LeBron, try to bring something back in pieces to surround around Anthony Davis, Or if you're in win now and you think you guys can still do it, then you have to trade Anthony Davis to get some pieces and draft picks because you need to get some of that shit back because you have like nothing for
right. Exactly.
They're looking like the Rams. You know, once it's done, once the wheels fall off, there isn't gonna be anything there to catch them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Grizzlies' John Morant has bone bruise and is doubtful for the remainder of the playoffs.
Yeah, Grizz are done.
Yeah, they're done tonight, right?
I was going to say, didn't they just lose again the other night?
They did, and they caught. If they would have had Ja, it might have been a little bit more different. But they lost that game when the Warriors were exactly how you would beat them. They were having a really bad shooting night. I mean, really bad. And that's when you kind of pick off a team like that.
Yep.
Right.
Because they live and die by the three. We all know that. Well, those are the games you have to steal. You have to get those, and then you try to swing momentum back to your house, and anything can happen at your house type of thing. It's not there, and that's too bad because he was having one hell of a special playoffs, too.
Yep.
Mets ace Jacob deGrom moved from the 10-day injured list to the 60-day injured list. They claim that this is no bearing on his recovery from the offseason, so or his issue has no bearing on that whatsoever.
Right.
So
I'm not sure if you can call somebody up if somebody's on the 10-day to replace them. So I'm wondering if this is that. If they can put him on the 60 because maybe he's going to be out 15 games, right? Or 15-day, whatever. And so maybe we get another bullpen arm, we get another bat, we get somebody we can actually use. And then now on the 10-day, I don't think you can call anybody up. I want to say I don't think so because it's considered day to day at that point.
Okay,
That
I didn't see
make
that.
a lot of sense. Yeah.
I didn't see that.
So
I didn't see that in the article. Maybe that's what. Okay, I could see that then.
I might be misinformed, but I want to say I think that's what it is. If they're on the 10-day, you can't bring anybody up to replace. They're actually on that 30 to 61, then they can replace.
This dude is one of the best pitchers of the last at least 5 years, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Maybe the best pitcher. Maybe
I
the
was going to say the best pitcher.
At one point, they had like 3 stud ass pitchers, right? Like we teased, there was a moment where obviously a buddy of ours is a Cubs fan, and when they were rolling a little bit there, the season was about to start. This was a couple years ago now. He lost his shit when he's like, well, we're sitting there talking baseball, and we're talking about, I've always said the Twins haven't been the same since we can't get like pitching. Especially, we've always had that number 2 pitcher, right?
What the hell was he trying to say? So
he said they didn't have a. He's like, well, see, he's about to start. I'm like, well, who's your ace?
We don't have an ace.
He's like, we have too many aces. I'm like, you don't have an ace then.
Right.
An ace is an ace.
Right.
You can have stud ass.
I want to
pitchers.
say he was trying to say like that Kyle Hendricks was an ace. I'm like, no.
Well, he was counting him as one of
yeah,
them. But
I was
he's
like, no, John Lester.
He's like probably John Lester, but we have like 4 aces.
Was Arrieta with him when he was doing balling out? But I was like, no.
But still, like I was like, so the argument was, I'm like, so you don't have an ace? Because it's without question if you have an ace, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, fuck, we don't. Blah, blah. Start freaking out about it. What I'm getting at though is, DeGrom, your team is rolling right now. Never seen this in the years that you've been there, and you don't even get to fully enjoy this or partake in it. So
imagine. So we talked about his team as being shitty, right? When the hype and then being shitty. Imagine how many wins he would have if he had a decent team actually behind him. How many times did he pitch?
He would even need a decent team, Rio.
Right.
He would need a team that could get a whopping 1 run a game.
Exactly. Yeah. How many? I wonder how many no decisions he had just because his team was so bad.
So many.
He'd go out 0-0, and then bullpen would give up stuff.
Yeah. 0-0, and then his team could never get, even when he did ball out, and let's say even the bullpen didn't fully give it up, his team's still going to get him.
Right, yeah.
Like 2 runs, because like the bullpen would give up 1 after he handed over, and you couldn't get 2 runs to seal the deal. PGA Tour has denied releases to players looking to play in the first event of the Saudi Arabian-financed LIV Golf Invitational Series, according to a memo.
Mm-hmm. They don't want to lose players.
Yeah.
Golf's already hard to watch, for a lot of people. You don't get the viewership, so you don't want to lose players too. So I get it. Now, kind of an asshole move, but especially with all the complaints going on.
Well, it's no different than any other promotion, right? Do you see Dana White just giving up? Like, for instance, even the Conor McGregor, like when he was back, like when the Floyd Mayweather thing, I mean, he made sure that Conor was still coming back to UFC. Like, hey, and we're going to make our coin off this too. Like, I'm technically your promoter and your
boss.
Yeah, your boss. So I'm making my coin off
lending
this.
you out.
I'm pimping you out.
Yeah.
I'm pimping you out. Yes. But you're coming back.
Right.
You know, like, I don't know if there's anything version of that. So you're definitely not going to let your dudes that are keeping your sport, which
Small
isn't exactly
already watching. Yep.
You're the ones that are keeping you the fans in the stands. I guess the few that you do have compared to everything else, you're not going to let them go.
No.
You know,
Jimmer, I seen you golf the other day. You're ready for the tour.
They can pay me a hell of a lot less. I can do it. It'll be highly entertaining.
Dude, I'm drunk by hole 3. So,
dude, as soon as I'm like, get out there, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna ball out. You know, this is it. Finally, I've been daydreaming about this. I know that I have my game corrected. I'm gonna ball out. I'm gonna go for my PGA Tour card, and then I hit the ball and I say, whap, fuck, and then we're back to just slamming some alcohol. So, but it'll be highly entertaining at bare minimum.
Correct.
Let's see here. Notre Dame's Mike Bray says college basketball, football coaches should stop complaining about nil. Coaches have to have got to stop complaining. Bray said Tuesday at the ACC's annual spring meetings. This is the world we're in, and last time I checked, we make pretty good money. So everybody should shut up and adjust.
Yeah, if you're going to have unlimited amount of money, you can say that. Notre Dame's going to be one of those schools, right, that can find lots of money to hand out players. So, yeah, you're going to say that. This Neal deal is going to – small schools were already getting hurt, you know, and probably not getting the talent or whatever, but they were scraping some up. This blows them – hurts them way worse than what they ever had before. So, yeah, of course, Notre Dame's going to have tons of money to give away, you know, to recruit, pay, basically act like free agency. So, yeah, you don't want it to go away because now you can buy your way in. And Notre Dame's kind of always been on that top 15-ish, right? But not in the top 5 for college playoff.
The reason why, though, a lot of times they have they come up a little short is that they have a bare minimum. I do believe they still have it. They have a bare minimum academic requirement.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And they stick very heavily by that. So a lot of people don't think that. Like, how come they don't do better in recruiting or something? Like, they may be in, you know, top 10 or something or top 5 in football one particular year, but they don't have it consistently. It isn't because the lack of head coaching and like their talent and or trying to pull them in or even funds.
You got to keep a certain GPA, I believe.
Exactly. You have to have a certain
There's
GPA.
plenty of guys out there that would get that, you know.
Yep. Well, I mean, like Stanford's kind of like that too.
Yep.
Shit like that is all I was getting at. I'm kind of with him in the sense that about the money part. I'm just talking about the money. Like, I have a bit. I guess I have a problem with saying that you need to put a cap on what someone can make. That isn't anybody's job. And when you ask anybody to come in and actually like put their foot down or limit what someone can do or earn, you know, that's horseshit. I mean, we don't bring in near enough money for this. But imagine if we were, but they came in and they said, you, especially for your first 5 years, you can't make this. This is the max you can make. I have a problem with any part of that part. I think there needs to be limitations on like how you chat with them because there's some tampering going on. I think there needs to be stuff like that.
Yeah, I like his perspective on just adjust, right? Like, it's true. I mean, this is where we're at. So do whatever you can now, and if things change, adjust, right? I mean, the rules are changing all the time in all of college sports, and the players have to adjust and figure things out. So I think the coaches need to too. All that other stuff aside, like, rules need to be tightened and things like that, but this is where we are. What can you do to get better? What can you do to get a better team and that kind of thing?
Play within those, like ball within those, and I'm with you.
You can't adjust to if somebody's bringing 6 figures to the table and you can bring 50,000. I mean, you can't adjust that.
What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying. On the money
aspect,
aspect. If you can only bring
each individual school, you're talking about the smaller schools,
right? So say you can only bring 50,000 to the table, I'll give you 50,000. And
you can adjust. It's just not an easy adjust. You're gonna adjust down to the guy that'll take $50,000. You know that I'm with you.
I'm just saying go after those types of players, right?
Yeah.
So,
All I'm saying is you put a limitation on something that's just like the government popping in, and you can. We're gonna control what you can do, what you can make, and it's no different. It's a much smaller version of that in the NCAA, right? Like of a government saying, well, you're gonna have to. You need to be careful when you ask for so many rules or regulations, because usually you get something you don't want, or you're limiting somebody, which I don't think is the right way to do things. I don't think limiting anybody in anything. Now, once someone signed somewhere and it seems like they were legitimately happy, like they were balling, for instance,
the Miami guy.
Yep, or the Pitt one, but the Pitt one, he has some other things going, like we talked about.
Yeah,
but ultimately, and then you catch wind that
Xavier Worthy's
team
come to him and was like, hey, we got a 6-figure deal for you. Enter the transfer portal and come to our
school. That's where I'm saying that there should be rules against, like, try to calm down the universities and the boosters and shit like that. But they were already fighting that in the past. Yeah. When it was illegal anyways. So
yep.
Right.
But I don't think the move is, in my opinion, I don't think the move is to limit the athlete themselves. If you're willing to give me $1 million, who are we to say that you can't have that? Based off of what you like, we may think it's foolish or funny or whatever. Like a dude that never took a snap and as a starter gets basically a $900,000 deal, and that was Bryce Young. Well, first off, he lived up to it. But you know what I'm getting at. Like when he first got it, you had no idea. But you shouldn't limit someone if they're willing to give them that money, is my point. If they're willing to give it, you need to stop. You need to try to limit or stop them dabbling in somebody else's pool already. Like they're already there, and you're trying to turn them. Because I think that's one of the articles right now on Nick Saban. Nick Saban saying that he's denying any tampering with I don't have it up. I don't have it up on right now, but it was one of the players. He's saying we weren't tampering with him. Maybe it wasn't, maybe it was. We don't know, but you know what I'm saying.
I think after this last few years, and I think there's going to be more changes coming down the road, but I think what I hope for, I think we all kind of hope for, is better developed players because there's more incentive to stay in college, take the money, and become a better overall player. But I honestly think we're going to see more flops in college. You're going to get a guy come in, I got a big deal. I got $1 million in my pocket, for 2 years. So $2 million, I don't have to work near as hard or whatever. Now you're going to get guys who will keep going and go to the NFL.
No matter
but
what, yep.
I think we're going to see guys like that, though.
To
give kids 6 figures, to give an 18-year-old kid 6 figures, I think we're going to see eventually there's going to be some problems.
There is. That being said, it isn't like it's every single player getting that stuff too either. There's like a handful of players that are getting big ones. Linderbaum got $35,000 or something like that, and that he donated back to the hospital. So the Children's Hospital
and you're gonna get guys like that, who do. I'm giving this away. I'm, anything like Bailey. Flynn, even though he couldn't get that money, he found a way to. And I think even if maybe he was getting that money, he sounds like a guy who would have just done that anyways or found a way to give anyway. So you're going to get guys like that too.
Yep.
I mean, it's not all going to be bad. I think, though, we will ultimately see some of that, the bad side of it, coming down the road.
Well, anytime you have any version of that and you have like gambling, because we haven't even seen the ugly side of this. Like the gambling has been more and more legalized across the United States, state by state. You have live betting in an arena. This next guy makes that next bucket and he misses, and then you have that same fan that made that bet and now has had 7 beers put in him. Shit starts to get ugly. When money's involved, it never stays
clean.
Los Angeles Angels rookie Reed Detmer pitched a no-hitter against the Tampa Bay Rays in a 12-0 win last night.
Very cool. Very cool to see.
He only had 2 strikeouts, I think, so that's some pretty damn good defense too.
Yeah.
A little controversy, I guess, in the 7th something went on.
What's that?
I didn't get to see it for sure.
Okay.
But they didn't talk about it too much.
Okay.
So
there was did you see in that same game the Mike Trout, like 2 dingers, but the one was, I think it was off, like it looked like it had to have been a position player. I don't know who the hell it was because it was like lofted over the plate, and he absolutely kills it. Well, I see it on Twitter, the dude that whoever pitched it to him, he's like, you got lucky. He was talking shit to Mike Trout. He's like, "You got lucky. I got you next time."
God, what did I see? It was like, so before he hit it, it was like, because I think he walked Shotani. And it's like, talk about a worst nightmare. Bases loaded. Shotani's at the plate. Mike Trout's up next.
Right.
No kidding.
And then
Right, so I think he walks him. I think he might have done something else. But then Mike Trout does his thing.
So yeah, it just when the dude was talking shit, I started laughing. Are the Angels actually? I was thinking about this. Are they finally due, like, to stay healthy? Because I forgot all about Anthony Rendon there too, who's healthy, who took one out of the park, lefty.
I believe Donaldson's still there. Syndergaard's there. If he can stay healthy. Yeah, maybe. I mean, all the money they finally spent.
Shohei, and then, of course, Mike Trout. If they all stay healthy, they're already off and running. I think they're
leading the division.
Yeah.
They're one of the best teams right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If they
one of
can
the
stay
hottest
healthy.
teams. If they can stay healthy, and let all that money finally pay off, and and that'd be good for Mike Trout.
Yeah,
You know,
get
he
like
deserves it, right?
God, we need to see him in the playoffs. I want to see what the dude could do in the playoffs because that's where your legend is really made.
Yep.
Everyone keeps saying you're the best player. You're the best player. I'm like, well, nobody ever sees you. They don't see you because when do you actually see players? When you make a face for yourself, really, especially when you're coming from the West Coast.
A lot of people are like us. I found out is I keep track of the stats.
Yep.
And then I don't really watch too much baseball during the regular season, but postseason I watch all the games.
Yep.
So.
Well, we catch them a little more at our house. Quentin, my youngest son, is obsessed, so we catch more games. He watched all kinds of them. But that being said, I get what you're saying. Like, until you actually get to the playoffs, that's when you start hammering down. You're watching a hell of a lot more,
Yeah.
and that's where you make a name for yourself. That's where your legend is truly made. It's not just kind of like a feel word of mouth. You know, like, hey, yeah, this is the best player in baseball. Oh yeah, okay, I guess I'll just take your word for it because I haven't seen him in the playoffs balling out. Immediately following his playing career, Tom Brady will join Fox Sports as their lead analyst. Fox announced. They did not disclose terms of Brady's deal at the time. This is when I wrote it. But now it is, reports are they're going to pay him 10 years, $375 million. The most lucrative in sports broadcasting history. We also saw that last night that his playing career earnings are $333 million. So over $40 million more
For 10 years.
Yeah,
Man.
I could do a worse job for about a quarter of that, but I'd show up every day.
I bet you it'd be a better job. The more I was thinking about this, like, do you really like listening to Tom Brady talk? Seriously, put any part of your. I'm talking about. Put any part of if you like him or don't like him aside. I'm talking about literally listening to him talk. He's not. He just kind of has a blah thing. You know, Tony Romo, I think is one of the best.
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
So here's the
I
thing. I
enjoy
kind of
listening.
thought he was kind of a blah thing too until him talking. I don't know if it's just because I heard him all the time since I'm a Cowboys fan, but
Wait until they're in the booth, maybe is
Yeah.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen a lot more of him recently because you have like Man in the Arena. You have all this stuff going on, like more video, more chatting from old Thomas J. Brady there. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. I just mean like he's just like the more shocking thing is that somebody posted the top 10 sports paid anchors or analysts, if you want to put it that way. Was it number 2 or number 3? One of the two. I think it was number 3. Number 3 highest paid? Jim Rome, $30 million.
Jesus.
Didn't even know the dude was still around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
CBS Sports is paying that man $30 million a year. I don't know if I really even liked him when he was with ESPN back in the day. I don't know if you guys remember him. Jim Rome is Burning.
Yeah.
He's
Or
always
Rome is
fired up.
Burning also became one too. But
Yeah.
I was shocked. I was like, $30 million for a dude that I don't even know is on the planet anymore?
Yeah.
I'm like, damn. We're in the right business. We can say that for the first time. We just need to start bringing it in.
Yes.
We don't have to get hit. Damn. Josh Lambo reportedly sues Jacksonville Jaguars for more than $3.5 million. Alleges Urban Meyer created hostile work environment.
Get your money, son.
Plenty of proof of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Should be slam dunked then?
Yeah. You'd
I
think.
imagine so, yeah.
Like, how do you prove that there wasn't a hostile work environment after you already let him go midway through the season, after you told him that you weren't going to let him go, or told the public you weren't going to let him go, and then you let him go? sounds like he's getting a free $3.5 million. Like, I don't know how you argue that.
If you want to donate half that to 3 gig, it's cool.
Yeah.
Yep, just hit us up.
Dude's in
Venmo
need.
works.
Dude's in need. Yeah, 3 gigs in need. Former Michigan State basketball star Adrian Payne, when he was fatally shot, was trying to prevent a domestic dispute, police investigation says. Him and his wife got called over, I think it was to her sisters, saying that her boyfriend, who was that, what was his name? Told you guys the other day. Whatever his name was, that he was getting violent there. They went to kind of like separate that and calm that down, and he got shot in the middle of that.
Yeah, it's a sad story.
Just too bad. It was Lawrence Doherty, who has been charged with. Well, that kind of answers the question why you're still hanging around the scene.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We continue on with a few quick hitters that came across, but I think we can roll right into our AFC North.
Yeah, we're gonna talk just a little bit AFC North. Additions.
Where they is now. Where they is.
So let's start
Who are you
out
thinking?
with.
I got the Steelers up.
Yeah.
Up from where they were.
No, I have their depth chart up right now.
Oh, you have them up.
I have them.
So we'll touch the draft here second. Obviously, Kenny Pickett, pick 20. George Pickens, Georgia wide receiver, pick 2 at 52. DeMarvin Leal, defensive tackle, in round 3, which I thought was a steal. Pick 84 out of Texas A&M. Calvin Austin, wide receiver, Memphis, round 6, from Kansas City. Connor Hayward, fullback, Michigan State. And 2 round 7 picks, Mark Robinson, linebacker, Ole Miss, and Chris Oladakin, quarterback, South Dakota State. They lost James Washington to Cowboys, so getting the Georgia receiver will help them out.
Which they tend to do. They tend to do pretty damn well with guys that were questionable. Like there was questions with him. I'm talking about with receivers. And those are the guys that you don't think about, you forget about, and then all of a sudden we're going to be talking here in about 2 or 3 years of a dude balling out. And that pick right there could end up being the steal of their draft. Mm-hmm. Now, they all Pittsburgh wide receivers also tend to become a little psycho down the road too. So
yeah,
or issues got a lot of talent there,
or
that's
TikTok.
for sure,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But overlooking their roster and their depth chart right here. I mean, they felt like they had to go. I mean, Kenny Pickett fell to them, whatever. They had to go quarterback, right? With Mitch Trubisky.
I think, they did it right. I'll touch on some additions for the free agency wise. Obviously, quarterback Mitch Trubisky, guard James Daniels, Mason Cole, center, linebacker Miles Jack, Jaguars.
You know where Mason Cole came from?
Vikings.
Yeah.
Levi Wallace. So, actually, I do like some of their pickups in the offseason. The James Daniels. I don't know much about Mason Cole, so y'all know more about him.
James Daniels was one hell. That was the one that was a center.
He's from Iowa.
Right?
James Daniels.
He
may have been played
offensive lineman, right? You just
he
said guard.
Yep.
Yeah, so he was a center with the Bears, I do believe.
I think you're right.
Okay.
I think he was a center with the Bears. So, damn good player. They're making it a little bit better. Mason Cole actually took the job from Garrett Bradbury.
Really?
Yes. So Garrett Bradbury got hurt, but Mason Cole was actually doing a pretty damn good job for those 2 games there or whatever.
Yeah, that little stretch.
Yep. So when Bradbury came back, they kept Mason Cole in.
Okay.
And then Mason Cole got banged up. So he earned his earned his contract here, but
Miles Jack, Levi Wallace, I like him. Levi Wallace, Bills weren't going to be able to pay him.
Miles Jack for what? Nothing?
Probably got Miles Jack. No, I'm sorry, Levi Wallace to be on the other side of.
No, I'm telling you, you stole Miles Jack.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm getting.
Okay,
they stole Miles Jack.
Well, that was a great pickup.
But their defense is gonna be studly.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have enough on offense yet. Regardless, So they're still going to be, in my opinion, and granted, we talked about this last year. We picked that they were going to be at the bottom. Basically, all of us did.
Yeah.
I still believe they're going to be near that. It's hard for me to like completely go against that. Where it will, I'm not going into my full blown guess or anything like that.
Yep.
But it's hard to bet against Mike Tomlin. I will say that.
Yeah.
And I think they did all the right things. I think you had to a certain extent, take Kenny Pickett because he fell to you. I think they could have
take a quarterback.
I think they could have taken a better piece all around and just banked on trying to get into next year's. But
yeah, I think
quarterback.
I think quarterback surprised everybody where they went.
Yeah.
I think, and that's why they took their guy.
Yeah.
Because if they were like, oh, I could probably get, quarterback in the third round, maybe him or one of the others, I think they may have went that way.
Yep.
It didn't make sense. It feels like ownership would have had like a say in that, in the sense that like his roots are so deep in Pittsburgh. Yeah. It's like he's a pretty good quarterback. Like we need a quarterback. Let's give him a shot. I don't think they did enough on the O-line, man. That was their biggest weakness. If they had no line, they would have been so much better, and they even eked into the playoffs last year.
Yep.
They got a couple pieces, but I don't think they did enough to really compete in the division.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I think the division's going to be so top-heavy.
That defense is going to be ridiculous. That defense will keep them in games. We as Vikings fans are used to hanging around that 7-9 to 9-7 range when we didn't have quarterback play at all. So what I'm saying is a stud defense will keep you in that range by itself. So I think that's what you're going to see again. I don't think they did enough on offense. They have a stud running back. They have receivers, but we'll see. We'll see what happens at quarterback, I guess. But
I don't know about receivers.
I think they have receivers.
Mooney, I like Mooney, but
who? Mooney. That's
right.
The Bears.
Oh yeah, shoot, sorry.
Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, George Pickens.
Yep.
Anthony Miller is on their second string.
Pickens, not going to count on,
well, not yet.
But I do like Claypool.
And this could be interesting, too. So I said they traditionally draft well at wide receiver that you'd forget about or trouble, and then they ball out. Mm-hmm. That was also with Big Ben throwing the rock.
It's true.
So maybe I don't know if that'll change a little bit here.
Yeah.
But
I wonder I don't know much about that Calvin Austin, but we'll see.
Yeah.
That defense will be just fine. I agree. Offensively, going to be tough.
And you got to think, too, like Big Ben he never had to worry about losing his job. So he could chuck the ball up.
Who you want?
You got Mitch and Kenny Pickett. Like, if Mitch starts the season, he's going to, I can't make mistakes. He's not going to be as willing to do what Big Ben did. So, I don't know, man. Yeah, where are we going next?
Thinking Browns. Before we transition to Browns a little bit, I did see something kind of interesting. Mitch Trubisky's is more performance-based than what we thought. So, of that 30, I think it was like 34 mil. Only I can't remember the number right in front of me. Like 23 million of it is performance based.
Really?
Yeah, it was a high ass percentage. I was from.
Yeah, what was it? 12 million guaranteed, I think.
Yeah,
is what I saw.
And some of that. Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he has something to prove. But now they drafted a quarterback that's right behind him. You also have old fucking Thug Nasty Mason Rudolph there too. You never know.
Yeah.
So
it's funny. I compared. I don't know if you all remember, but like Kenny Pickett he gave me Mitch Trubisky vibes. Small school, right? I think ACC too, right? Scared of him, and then they go and take him.
That's funny. Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
So I'll go ahead and start this one off. I'll start it off with this. This could be literally the first team in the AFC North or the last team in the NFC North or AFC North. And that'll completely depend on what happens with Deshaun Watson. Mm-hmm. They slam dunked the offseason if he's able to play. Now, future years, once they can't pay anybody and shit like that, be a little bit different. But we're talking about right now. You have Deshaun Watson, Nick Chubb, Amari Cooper, Donovan Peoples-Jones, who my son's a huge fan of because he's actually a Browns fan also. They brought in Jakeem Grant. They drafted David Bell. These are awesome. He has weapons around him. Mm-hmm. This is all depending on that right there, right? You have David Njoku, Harrison Bryant a couple years ago was drafted in, big-bodied tight end. Their offensive line is still one of the better ones in the league, so they'll have protection. They'll be able to run that ball, and especially with that zone run scheme anyway. That won't be. I don't think that would be an issue anyway. It doesn't matter who they have back there, right?
Right.
That defense. Still Studley. They have all the pieces. It depends on if they can keep the wheels on. Also depends with the drama with good God. Oh boy, we say his name. Baker Mayfield. All that and how that, in my opinion, how that like transpires, how this kind of trickles down, how it acts. We have no idea what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
You know, he can't, like, if they make him play, I think he's going to fake an injury. I mean, I don't think he's going to play for them regardless. But he can't step on the field and not kind of perform too. So if he goes out in the field, because he's trying to help himself. So if Deshaun is there, this team is better. It's better than what it was, 100% better. I think the wheels kind of fell off with some injuries, and they had a major injury bug most of the year.
Yeah.
That being said, I try not to give too many excuses because the Ravens also went through 1.5 million injuries and almost made the playoffs too. So.
Right. Offensively, I think they'll be fine. You know, they got some great additions there. I do like some of their draft additions. Round 3, David Bell, Jerome Ford, running back from Cincinnati. They went the first couple picks. They went with Need, Martin Emerson, cornerback, Mississippi State, and Alex Wright, D-end. I think defense is going to be fine. I'm looking for that young secondary to step up. Who's the safety from LSU? They drafted a couple years ago.
Delpit.
Yep, I'm looking for him to step up. They got some young corners there.
He missed last year because he got injured, right?
Yeah,
in training camp.
Yep,
or something like that.
In his rookie year, he didn't. Yeah, so I'm looking for some more production from those guys. They have a quarterback, I believe, from Northwestern out there. They just paid old boy
Denzel Ward.
Yep. So looking for that young secondary to really turn things around, and the defense will be just fine. And like you said, Deshaun Watson. What happens?
Yeah.
Yeah. They also, I mean, they lost some pieces too, right? So they lost Rashad Higgins, Jarvis. They lost Austin Hooper. So they lost some firepower, but they also lost their center. So that offensive line is good.
Treader?
Yeah.
Is that his name?
But center's a pretty big piece
it
too.
Is.
So
not enough respect at center, actually.
Yeah. So we'll see kind of what happens there. They didn't have a lot of picks in the draft. They didn't start till round 3. So, but it seems like they made the right decisions as far as what they need.
They had a lot of picks in the draft. They had 9.
Well, yeah,
you're saying early
picks.
Okay.
Early picks. Yeah, like stud picks, I guess, early in the draft.
Gotcha. Yep.
Your slam dunks are supposed to
right,
be.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think there's that. It all comes down to Deshaun, right? Just like everybody said. I think Amari's going to be huge for that locker room, and just he's a different person.
I think they should really push to bring Jarvis back. Be a solidified.
They couldn't. So you didn't see this? He turned them down.
Did he officially?
He literally turned them down. Yes.
Okay.
They offered him a 1 year. It was a 1 year contract, but I'm sure it had plenty of money on it. He turned them down. He does not want to be there.
So I know they did before Deshaun got signed.
No,
but they did again.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
And if that isn't the case, then everything that I just seen, and it was posted hours ago from yesterday, then
Gotcha.
Yeah, they said they've tried.
Okay.
I don't think he wants to be there.
Yeah, I know they did when Baker was still supposed to be the guy, and he was like no, and so yeah, I was wondering what was going to happen now that Deshaun was there. If weird he hasn't made a choice yet, but who do you want to go to next?
Let's do the Bengals.
Let's do it. Yeah, there you go. I was thinking the same thing.
The Bengals made a lot of moves that we actually talked about last year. We said this is exactly what they need, and they turn around and do it. Lyle Collins, Alex Kappa, let's see, Ted, I don't know how to say his last name, Harris.
Yep.
And then they even got Hayden Hurst, who's a talented but injury prone, right? Tight end there. And then the draft, so that they actually overall had less picks, really, I think because of some of them pickups and that and what they've done in the draft. But they did get a defensive back. That was their first round pick, right? Out of Michigan, yeah.
Daxton Hill.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I like him. I think I don't know much about Cam Taylor, but adding some depth there. Man, I don't know. The draft isn't that big a deal for me for the Bengals. It's more about those that offensive line. They totally revamped that, and that was the biggest thing. Again, the Steelers. This is exactly what they should have done too, right? And the Bengals actually did it. I think it's gonna pay big dividends.
Well, we talked about that right out of the gate, right? After the Super Bowl, I'm like, if you want to continue and we actually talked about it even before that, but you know what I'm saying? You need to protect this man. We knew he was a special talent even before he went on this run last year. We seen that the year before, but he couldn't stop eating dirt. You know, so you got to protect him. So we said that no matter what, at the late in the draft to pick 31, no matter what, don't care if it is the 7th best tackle because they all come off the board, you better draft an offensive lineman. Now, they didn't have to because they seen what we were talking about, obviously, and they took it very seriously. You went and grabbed and still at a young age here. Yes, he's had a few injury concerns here the last couple of years, but La'el Collins, he'll be a staple of your offensive line. Alex Kappa and Karras, like you were saying, but they redid this offensive line, and they addressed everything in free agency because they had plenty of money to do so. And then they could use the draft to try to pick up some boosting pieces. I like Daxton Hill. I said they needed corner. On the depth chart, they still only have him projected as second string as of right now. But I was calling that outside of the offensive line that I wasn't like a lot of people might have been impressed with the secondary. I was not. So they needed, in my opinion, they needed to address that. But heavily picks 1, 2, and 3 should have been offensive line. They took care of it in that, so they went
the other way.
Defensive back. So
yeah, I think they aced this.
I think they have a perfect shot to legitimately compete again, especially with in that division. It's gonna be tough, of course. We know that, right? But the Steelers, you don't know. They're gonna be around that 500, we believe. We're not making full assessment right now of that part, but they did nothing to like go backwards. That's for damn sure. So I think they improved tremendously.
Yeah, I think they aced this whole offseason so far. Starting with your free agency, your additions there. We talked about it. We all both touched on it, keeping the quarterback upright. They do that. They re-sign their safety. They go out and immediately address the defensive side. They get Daxton Hill. They get Cam Taylor-Britt. So their secondary, which we're concerned about, even Zachary Carter in round 3. That's another defensive piece. Yep. I think they aced this thing, and, yeah, they're definitely going to be probably the favorites there. And I think Deshaun Watson's going to elevate the Browns, but I think it's going to be tough to knock the Bengals off that top spot.
Yeah, I think they've set up.
Disrespecting the Ravens over here.
No, no, we're not. We're setting it up for that next team here.
Yeah, you got it.
But that being said, I think they're actually for once doing something right. Now they were doing something right back with the Carson Palmer days too, but they couldn't keep him healthy either.
Yeah.
So yes, they were doing something right, but they were also doing something wrong. They also didn't support him with the offensive line. I think they've actually finally learned from that. Like, hey, we have a franchise quarterback. Very few teams in this league get a crack at 2 or even 3. They've had 3.
A franchise quarterback with 3 stud receivers.
3 stud receivers and a pretty damn good running back to boot. So
yeah.
Joe Mixon and even Samaje Perine showed that he was a perfect number 2 last year too. He was a nice piece for them too. But you produce that offensive line. That also helps the run game, which we were just talking about. We're thinking about protecting that franchise quarterback. Ultimately, that's also going to help create holes for the talented running back that they have also. So
yes.
So they're going to be a hard out. We are obviously going to roll right into the Ravens, right? I'm going to let you guys go on this one first.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can talk about the draft first, right? They probably had the best draft out of every team in the NFL for what they needed. I mean, they were able to get Linderbaum at the end of the first round. Kyle Hamilton's a stud. Then Ajabo somehow in the second round.
Yeah.
Travis Jones, and then from there on out, man, they addressed a lot of concerns. But as far as I'm concerned, at least 3 legitimate studs that'll make an impact this year for the Ravens in areas that they need. But then when it comes to actually what they need on the field that didn't come from the draft too, Marcus Williams, Morgan Moses, Michael Pierce, just addressing everything. They need some offensive line help, but their defense really needed some work. And Williams was huge. And obviously Michael Pierce will be huge too. Assuming Jackson could stay healthy, I think this is huge. This has been a huge offseason for them.
So I agree with you. I'm going to go so you're talking the draft. Now, I'm not trying to downplay what they did because I think they had the best draft. But wake up, NFL. You know why they had a great draft? Because all these pieces were there. They shouldn't have been there. They fell to them, but for the most part, they even made trades the other way, but they didn't climb real high. You grabbed a franchise center, which we were all big on. You grabbed the best safety, arguably, but I didn't think it was arguably, that was going projected top 5 picks, like basically all off season, right? That fell to you in the teens. Shouldn't have been there. And then Ajabo, which they definitely would have. That's a little fortune for them, misfortune for him, is falling back that late. But somebody should have grabbed him before they even had it anyways. Like, this is, we're talking about generational type of talent, and teams are missing on that. They see beyond that. They grabbed that guy. And like you said, they touched on everything else they needed. They brought Michael Pierce back. The only thing they didn't touch on is wide receiver. And I'm not bullish on wide receiver in this offense. I think they need to go out and grab even more tight ends. Mark Andrews.
They drafted 2.
I know. Well, we'll see
round.
I know. We'll see how they go or anything. But
Yeah.
I guess what I was thinking is more proven in my mind. But yes, We'll see how they turn out. I don't think wide receiver is nearly as big as everyone blows up, especially for this offense. I think they will have a legit number one, a borderline fantasy one, and Rashad Bateman. That'll be like your third. Like, we play in 3 wide receiver sets, so I'd feel comfortable with them as my 3rd wide receiver on my fantasy team. But the rest of them, they did bring in Mike Davis here recently. They have 4 legit running backs. We would say, damn, that's crowded. But is it really? Because they lost all of them last year. So
Exactly.
You know, they have studs. J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, Justice Hill hasn't even been able to, because he was banged up too. But you brought in Mike Davis, old trusty back there. So I'm with you. They're good. Obviously, as far as Lamar, as long as he stays healthy. Tyler Huntley, has showed that he could pitch in a few games if you need to, whatever, and the wheels won't fall off because of him. They'll say it that way. They can run their exact same offense too. So, their defense is their defense, and I like. There's nothing ever that you can say bad about their. Even when they're having a bad season, you still think when they step on the field, you're still thinking Ravens D, right? So,
yeah. I think they ace the draft. Free agency wise, you'll get Morgan Moses, Michael Pierce, Marcus Williams, big one. He's going to be an awesome safety. Marcus Peters, Marlon Humphrey going to be back healthy.
Yeah.
That defense is going to be
re-signed him too.
Amazing. Yeah.
Good
Throw
contract.
Kyle Hamilton in there. The defense is going to be awesome. Now, I am a little bit worried about the offense because you trade Hollywood Brown. I love the Tyler Linderbaum pick. I thought the Cowboys should have got him. But, they grabbed Charlie Kolar and Isaiah Likely, 2 tight ends out of Coastal Carolina and Iowa State. But I just think you need one, a burner. I think Hollywood Brown was perfect for that offense.
Devin Duvernay, is he not a fast guy? I think he is. He's
a fast guy. The hand, which I guess Hollywood Brown was kind of the same way.
Right.
The hands.
So he doesn't have the name that's sexy for you, but he can
and
do
the
what
catches.
doing.
So he doesn't have the catches either. But
I'm saying the opportunity wasn't there. If you had Hollywood Brown.
Yeah,
that's
but I got to see it. So
got to see it.
I don't know, but I love the concept of Hollywood Brown. Right, he stretches the defense, takes the safeties, and that's what lets Mark Andrews run underneath. And they played it perfectly like that. And then, of course, they're going to run the ball like they do, in their power sets. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that offense looks. And if Duvernay can run by everybody and do the same thing that Hollywood Brown was doing. I like Bateman as a guy. He reminds me of – he's probably not going to run by everybody, but he's a great route runner, sure hands.
Get it in the vicinity, right?
Yep. So – it's going to be interesting to see if, they're lacking that explosive play out of their offense and how that hurts. But overall, a heck of an offseason. I think I'm giving the Bengals an edge right now because they showed they battled through the postseason. And you're only going to get better. Like I said, I think they ace offseason as well. The thing about the Ravens, though, I think they did well in the offseason as in additions and then also draft-wise. They aced it.
Okay.
So
I forgot how good Charlie Kolar was last year too.
Yeah.
They got him for dirt cheap for how important he could be for that offense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's awesome.
Wide receiver, like I said, is probably their biggest one.
Yeah, big question.
I don't hold it as high as the rest, but I could see the concern. If you need someone to take the top off that's extremely fast, go get John Ross. He can not catch the ball too. Yeah, but you still got to respect it, right? At the end of the day, because he might catch one of those 7.
Yep.
But I get it. I'm not trying to make complete light of it. I understand that's also part of what makes the tight end so great too, is because you had the fear. You're definitely
safety's taking.
Safety is coming. You're not taking the safety down low.
Right. So you got two guys heading back. Mark Andrews stays open in the middle of the field, and you're guarding him with linebackers and such.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. That worries me a little bit. Like I said, there are guys there. We'll have to see if that
quick grade of the Ravens offseason.
A+, man.
Yeah.
A+. I think it's kind of unanimous right there.
I
would say A because I'll give you the wide receiver thing.
I was actually going to go one further. Rank the division offseason moves so far, 1 through 4. Who did the best? Who all the way down to the worst?
Ravens, Bengals, Browns, Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'm with you. That
Deshaun one pulls a lot of weight.
It does.
Because honestly, I would actually put them pretty close to last in ranking if it wasn't for Deshaun.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So
I agree.
I don't know if you guys are thinking the same thing. I just mean like Deshaun was like, I'm not saying they did bad in their offseason. The AFC North has been doing actually pretty good with that. But if Deshaun was there, I think it'd be flip-flopped. Literally.
Between them and Pittsburgh?
And Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm actually going to go Bengals, Ravens, Browns, Steelers, and the Browns one is purely because of Deshaun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, it's tough. The Bengals and Ravens both did so well. They're putting themselves in the right spot. So
I think the Bengals tackled exactly what they needed to, like 100%. There's no doubt. Those are all great pieces the Ravens brought in. They're going to be probably Pro Bowlers, right?
Right.
And yes, center was a need for them.
Yep.
But that being said, I think the Bengals nutted it, and they just get the edge for me. They did exactly what they needed to do. They actually listened outside of their crazy building there, and actually went and did what they needed to. So I have to give them the nod there.
Definitely.
But it's by a nut hair.
Yeah.
So.
And that's our recap for the AFC North.
Ballin'. We obviously can't wait for football. I have been watching a little bit of USFL. I'm telling you guys, you need to get down on some of that. Some of it.
Okay.
They did sign somebody not huge. You have to watch football to actually know the guy, but I do believe they signed Bo Scarborough. If you remember a couple years ago, he played with the Detroit Lions, and he was starting running back there for a little bit when they went through all their injuries. So, yeah, we'll see. What do we? Well, we do. I do have one kick. Strange law, quick.
You said you have some quick hitters.
One was just about.
All right. No,
I just decided I'm not going to do it because it's COVID too, and I'm tired of talking about it.
The Bucks are up 110-107 with 5 seconds left.
Boom. It is illegal for a woman to drive a car in Louisiana unless her husband is waving a flag in front of it.
Is this enforced?
I don't know. This also, I can see why though. I've watched my wife drive. Love you.
So let's start that here.
Yeah.
No, I love you, my beautiful, beautiful wife.
With all due respect.
With all due respect. Yeah, I'm still trying to learn this. Damn it. What I mean is she's a good driver. She has some road rage. That's what I'm getting at. So.
Oh yeah.
So the flag in the front. That's what I'm trying to let everyone know. Who's got that makes sense, baby?
Yeah, I've got one.
Ooh.
Okay.
So makes sense if you don't think about it. And I was thinking about this back in the old days down in Des Moines, back in my early years down there. I had a group of friends that I kind of made working in this big corporate environment. And after a little while, two of them started, a guy and a girl, right? They started getting kind of close and hanging out a little bit more outside of just the group and stuff like that. And
the story about you?
No, this one's not about me. But they started to hang out, and pretty soon, they start fucking or whatever. And
they start what?
Is that the birds and the bees?
Clap, right?
Clapping them cheekies.
Clapping them cheekies, baby. So they started rocking and rolling, doing their own thing, which is always worrisome when you got a group of friends, right? Something happens and it's like, well, what now? Mm-hmm. And one One day, because I drove with this dude to work too, and one day it was just really weird. Like everybody scratches their balls, you know, but he just like kept itching his shit, right? And I'm like, bro, we're fucking, what's going on? Are you okay? Like, he's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. And I didn't really think anything of it. And then later on that day, the girl, she's like pissed off. She comes to work pissed off and blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, what the hell's going on with you? And she's like, well, this guy that I was fucking around with before, the new one, just he actually texted her to tell her that it turns out he has chlamydia.
All the pieces are starting to fall slowly together.
And I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm like, oh, boy, it's look like he's having a little bit of a rough time. She's like, fuck. She's like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, you got to tell him. And if I remember right, she wouldn't like even go near him at work at all that day, right? She left early and she ended up texting him. She's like, hey, so I got the clap. You need to probably get tested.
He's like, too late, player. I already fucking kind of knew now. I knew you
Hey,
get
how's the
tested.
weather? What are y'all doing this week? And anyways, I got the clap. You want to get tested. So, anyways, see ya.
Immediately, he's just like flaming. He's like, what the fuck, this bitch, blah, blah, blah. And then I, kind of broke the story. I'm like, it was before you, and it must have like, maybe she didn't have symptoms for a while or something, I'm like, she couldn't do much about that, but, I get it. Well, long story short, he goes in, and I learned, I don't know if this is the only treatment, but one of the treatments for it is actually getting a syringe and getting a shot right in to the old wiener.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
That's a hard pass.
No, thank you at all.
You know how they check?
I don't know. I don't know how they even test.
So, I was informed because I was with a real classy lady way back in the day.
He's crying, right?
No. I was with a real classy lady back in early or late high school.
Is this a classy lady that might live around here?
Shut your fucking mouth.
Okay.
You.
God damn you. My point is, you didn't realize that, well, you did, but maybe naive to the situation that out there hoeing around. I go to the doctor. I'm like, hey, you need to playing goddamn footsie with me. Get on your side of the bench. The hell you getting turned on by his chlamydia talk?
Yeah, dude. Now I was getting worried because I was like, I got it in my balls. Don't do it. Don't do it.
But I went straight to the doctor. I'm like, hey, I want everything ran. Everything. HIV, the whole works. I don't care.
Jesus.
There's no, I didn't have anything like where it's like, hey, I need to do this. I was like,
so he says.
No, I didn't. But either way, doctor comes in. She starts going on the list. I had to go get my blood drawn, all that. Comes back good. Okay, so we're on the next phase, and we'll check for chlamydia. Do you have any symptoms? No, I was with a real classy lady.
A lady of the night?
No, not a lady of the night. That's a horrible decision. She's like, all right. She goes and takes a Q-tip out. I'm like, no. What's up?
No.
What's that for?
No.
She's like, oh, this is how we have to test. We got to put this down your pee hole.
What the?
All of a sudden, you would not think that a goddamn Q-tip would look so goddamn massive until they said they're going to shove that in your piss hole. I'm like, then it starts looking like a goddamn tree trunk. I'm like, hold on. Pump the brakes. Is there any other way? Well, no, not really. But if you're not showing symptoms and you'll have like green discharge, this, that, and the other, I'm like, I don't have any of that. We don't need to get. Okay, we're not doing it.
We're not doing that one.
We're not doing that one. She's like, yeah, and you'll clearly see a few symptoms and stuff like that.
So
I'm like, good.
You could just be dormant with some dormant clap, huh?
No.
You never got tested, bro.
My wife has had 4 kids since, and we're good, bro.
Man.
No, speaking of which, not my wife. I married her. This was a completely different, classy lady back in my early high school days.
Stepmom? Oh, sorry.
Fucking dick. No.
Just a question.
You nasty.
The fucked up thing about that story is, so naturally he got pissed at her, right? Because fucking she gave him the clap or whatever.
Yeah.
She ended up like totally not talking to him ever again and was pissed at him for getting mad at her.
What?
Even though she's the one that gave him the clap.
What?
Yeah.
They were
Makes
done.
sense if you don't think
It
about it.
makes sense
right?
if you don't think about it.
If you don't think about it.
So they completely cut themselves off of talking.
Yeah.
Because she was
100%.
pissed because she gave him the clap
Yep.
that she got from somebody else.
Well, how the turntables.
Have turned.
Yes.
Dink and flicka, baby. Dink and flicka.
Dinkin'
Flicka.
Flicka.
No doubt.
Damn.
Well, gentlemen, we're seriously down to crunch time. What are we at, the 11th today? So 10 days out.
Yeah, next weekend, man.
Yep.
Yeah, 10 days out from the North Iowa Fights at the Mason City Arena. So definitely make sure you check that out. Get tickets if you haven't yet. We were going to do It Makes Sense. That's what I should have done tonight, but that's all right. We can do it Friday.
Yep.
You'll be gone.
We can
I'll be
announce.
gone,
We
yeah.
can announce the winner right now, though. You want to do that?
Not yet. I'm going to talk to him first.
Oh, you're gonna talk to him.
Yeah, we're going to
Okay.
talk to him first.
Yeah.
Because maybe he'll want to get on and tell the story himself
Okay.
as well. So we'll talk to him. But we do have a winner for the 4 bar rail tickets at the fights. And if you haven't gotten your own, check them out. I think they have a couple tables left even.
A couple VIP, but it's getting down there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely worth it. It's going to be a good time. And if you happen to stumble across, you're listening to us, maybe you see us on a video. Where's the podcast available, Jimmer?
Anywhere and everywhere you get them. Spotify, Apple, Google, iHeart officially, YouTube, and as of right now, Facebook, just to name a few.
Absolutely. And, we love hearing stories. We love talking shit. We just did the AFC North tonight as far as off-season moves and what we feel about them. If you disagree, go ahead and slide into the old...
DMs, man. Slide into the DMs and let us know where we went wrong. I'll probably ignore you, so whatever. But if you got a story, too, go ahead and let us know. We'll get that story out to everyone who wants to hear it. We do as well. We still have a raffle going on up at Gentleman's Way in Garner, Iowa. Go get your hair cut, and then you can enter into our raffle. We'll pull that. I think next time I go get my hair cut, we'll see what we got going on in there and pull that. Also,
Hey, when you walked in today, might have checked out the old booty, and it looks like you've been doing some things.
I did do butt injections.
Nasty.
Yes, I have been lifting a lot. And if you are into lifting and wanting to keep track of your workouts, look up new workouts, anything like that, check out FitBod. It'll show you how to do new lifts. It'll keep track of everything, all your workouts. You can sync it with Apple phone, watch, anything like that, your health stuff. Use our code 3GIG and you'll get 25% off.
How much?
25.
How much?
25%?
Damn.
How much off you get for hand jobs these days. So,
Hey, it's a tight economy right now. You see the price of gas? We're up to $4.19.
right, dude, he's got a bike to all these appointments.
Yeah. It's like, damn.
To be fair, just because this is perfect, 25% off would be more like a foot job from Rio.
Hey, that is true.
Factual.
So if you're into that, slide into my DMs.
OnlyFans.
I'm only 10% off, so
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're,
I
yeah,
can't quite
yeah,
get that.
absolutely. So
You
we're
know?
talking about it.
We're talking discounts here. If you love discounts,
Check out that 3
check
gig
out 3 Gig
OnlyFans.
After Dark.
No, OnlyFans. OF baby.
OF.
Fitbod, 25% off is actually what we were talking about,
Yes.
gentlemen.
Yep.
Got to keep it PG. We don't say naughty things here.
Yes, indeed.
But we will go ahead and get out of here. Thank you, everybody, for listening. This is 3 Gig Sports.
We out.
I've been writing, I love